Okay, so today's section is what is load balancer. Okay, so to create a load balancer, first we have to create a virtual machine. Okay, so the main purpose of using this load balancer, to avoid the traffic, we are going to use a load balancer. Okay, so to create a load balancer, first you need a two virtual machine. So with the help of one virtual, so for example, the main purpose of using this load balancer is that to avoid the traffic we are going to use this load balancer, right? So what we are going to do is we'll try to create a virtual machine. Okay, so we'll try to create a virtual machine, and with the help of default vnet we'll try to create a virtual machines. In that means we'll try to create a virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2. So after creating this virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2, we'll attach that virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2 towards the load balancer. Okay, so for example, you know how to host a web hosting and everything. So I'll show you again. So just listen. So I'll click towards the create virtual machine, create Azure virtual machine. So I'll give a particular resource group name. So I'm giving I'm just giving cloud institution tag RJ. Okay, so giving one. Okay, so okay. Next we have to give a particular name. So I'm giving cloud institution tag VM. Okay, 01. I'm creating two virtual machines, so that is VM1 and VM2. And you can see I'm using West US, and the web zone I'm not going to give anything, so no interest redundancy. Security type is trusted on virtual machine, and you can see images 22.04. Okay, so next the size is 1 GB, and I'm just giving a password. So I'm giving particular username and password for this. Okay, so cloud institution, I'm giving a particular password. Okay, so instead of using SSH, I'll enable HTTP also. Okay, so but when you go to the disk and networking side, a default VNet is created over here, right? The same VNet should be done where the same VNet should be that means this same VNet should be applied in virtual machine 2 also. Why? Because if you're going to if you're going to add any other VNets, means at the same time there will be an overlapping. So it is difficult to target the virtual machine 1 and 2. So what you have to do is you have to attach the same VNet for the virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2. So after checking whether it's connected or not, what you have to do is we have to click towards the review plus create, and we'll click towards the create option. Okay, the same thing should be done in virtual machine 2 also. Okay, so we'll just wait. After the deployments gets over, you will be getting the correct perfect thing. So just wait. It's done. So I'll go to the virtual machine 2 and I'll try to create a new virtual machine. So I'll go to virtual machine, create Azure virtual machine. Same thing. So institution 1 RG. I'm just going to give a particular name. So cloud institution hyphen VM102. Okay, so now infrastructure, same thing. 0.22.04 one password. So I'll give my username and password. Okay, I've given my username password. I have to enable SSH also, HTTP also. So I just want to check whether the VNet is connected or not. So I'll go to the networking side. It is connected to VM1, means it's connected to VM2. That means it is creating a new one. So what we have to do is we have to refresh. So when you try to refresh, you can see it will be enabled. Okay, so it's a mistake, it's an error. If it is showing like that, it means you have to refresh again. Okay, so when you refresh, you can see we have to write it again. Just wait. uh, Yeah. Right now the VM1 VNet is connected to same. That means virtual network 1 is connected to same, which same virtual network 1 is connected to virtual machine 2 also. Okay. So after doing this, we'll click towards the review plus create. Okay. So after creating this, next what you have to do is we have to create a web hosting inside this. So you know how to enable this HTTP and everything. So you don't know how to create a web hosting. So right now we are going to create a web hosting. To create a web hosting, what you have to do is we have to go back to the virtual machine 1. So I'll just duplicate and I'll go home, virtual machine. I'll open institution virtual machine 1. I'll copy the public AP. Okay. So instead of using the CLI, there is another method called CMD. So when you open command prompt, you can see command prompt over here. You can see, so when you search for the CMD, you can see command prompt. So with the help of this command prompt also, you can easily access. So to access that, what you have to do is SSH space username. So that is cloud institution at IP and enter. So they'll ask the so they will ask whether you want to continue or not. So I'll write yes. I'll write my password. I'll click enter. So right now I have access to that particular virtual machine. Okay, cloud institution. So right now we have to go to this root user. To go back to the root user, we have to go to the sudo sup. So you can see root user over here. So next we have to install Apache server. So to install or to create a web host, you have to install Apache server. To create that, apt install Apache to tag y. Tag y means to avoid the trap, means to avoid the yes or no configuration. So when you click enter, you can see it is fetching right now. It is creating right now. So after it's fetched, you can see a default web host is created by the provider. Okay. To check whether it's created or not, with the help of public IP, same public IP, we can check whether it's created or not. Okay. So just wait. Okay, so you can see default one. So to check whether the default one is created or not, we'll copy and we'll try to paste it over here. And when you click enter, you can see a default Apache page will be done over here. So if it is not working over here, we'll try to open in new incognito window also. Okay, so I'll paste it over here and I will click enter. You can see default pages here. Okay, this is a default page or this is a default web host. It's created by the provider. So next what you have to do is this default should be changed into customized one. To change into customized one, we have to go back to the where CMD. So next what you have to do is we have to write cd space slash var slash www slash html slash. Okay, so cd means it's a current directory. It is used for to open that files or folders. Okay, so we have to open this slash var www html, and when you click enter you can see it is moved to the var www html. So after typing this, what you have to do is already a default web host is done. So I need to open that. To open that file, the name is nano space index dot html. Okay. So nano means if you want to create any pages or if you want to create any folder means you can use nano. So already the folder is created. To open that I have written nano space index dot html. So next we have to click enter. So when you click enter, you can see a default web hosting over there, right? So you have to remove this. To remove this, what you have to do is Alt plus T, Tiger T. I am writing hi. Okay. And I need to save this. To save this, Control X, Y, enter. Done. So if I want to check whether it's done or not, I'll just go back to the same web hosting and I'll try to refresh from here. So you can see hi over here. So this is how you create a web hosting. Okay, this same method should be applied in virtual machine 2 also. To do that, we have to go back to the virtual machine again and I'll try to open my virtual machine. Okay, so I'll try to open my virtual machine 2 and I'll try to create virtual machine 2 means I'll try to copy this public IP of virtual machine 2 and I'll try to open a new CMD and I'll write the same method what I've shown in first method. So I'll open just wait. Okay, so SSH space username at IP, enter. Sorry, it's a cloud institution, right? No. SS space cloud institution at IP. Yes, enter. Password. Okay, next sudo apt install Apache to tab y. cd space /var /www/html enter index.html enter sorry nano space index.html enter all plus t hello control x y enter. So this is done, right? So to check whether it's done or not, we have to copy this public IP. We have to go to the portal. We have to open the virtual machine. We have to copy the public IP. We have to we have to check whether it's done or not. So you can see lots of traffic. So I just want to avoid that traffic. To avoid that traffic, what we are going to do is we have to go back to the portal. That means with the help of load balancer, we will be creating. To create that, we'll search for the load balancer. Okay, so you can see load balancer. So when you click load balancer, you can see number of load balancers there. So right now we are just discussing about the load balancer itself. So we'll click towards the load balancer and you can see create over here. So when you click create, you can see over here resource group, right? So same thing. Okay, so already resource group is created. So Cloud Institution 1 RG, and you have to give a particular name. So I am giving a load as a name. Okay, and you can see SQ. So it is showing as a recommend 1 standard. So it should be recommend 1 itself. And you can see type. There are different types. There is type. Public is the internal is there. So public means it's a public IP, and internal means it's a private IP. Okay, private. So I'm using a public, and you can see regional. So type, you can see regional and global. So you have to use region. Region means nearest local area and everything. So instead of using global, we'll use a regional one. Next, you can see front-end IP. So here in this load balancer, we have to maintain 4 steps. That is basic, front-end IP, backend pool, and inbound rule. Okay. So we have to configure front-end IP. So when you configure this front-end IP, you can see add front-end IP configuration over there. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to click towards the add front-end IP configuration. So you have to configure. To configure, I just want to give a particular name. I am giving IP load. But in this public AP, you can see a default virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2 public AP is there, right? Instead of using this, what you have to do is we have to create a new one. To create a new one, you can say create new, right? So when you click create new, you can see add a public IP. So I'm giving an IP over there, and I'm just clicking towards the save. Again save. So what happens? A front-end IP will be created. Next, what we have to go to the backend pool. So when you click towards the backend pool, right here you have to click towards the add a backend pool. Okay. So backend pool is that target. So when you click towards the backend pool, they'll be asking for your particular name. So I'm just giving a load rule. Okay. So or I'll just give a load back as a name. Okay. So after giving this load back and everything, you can see virtual network. So inside this virtual network, already the virtual network is created by the provider. So same virtual network should be applied over here. So I'll attach this VNet. So after attaching this VNet, you can see IP configuration. Right now we have to target. To target that, we have to click towards the add option. So when you click add option, you can see there is add, right, virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2. So after adding this virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2, we have to click towards add. You can see it is added, and you have to click towards the save. So what happens? Virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2 will be added. Next, what you have to do is we have to click towards the inbound rule. So I've already told you we have to maintain 4 steps. We already completed basic, front-end IP and backend pool. Next, we have to configure inbound rule. So we can go towards the inbound rule. Okay. So when you click towards the inbound rule, you can see what add a load balancing rule. Right. So when you click towards add role balancing role, you have to attach what all you have done in basic front end IP backend pool. Everything should be done over here. So we have to add a load balancing rule. So I'm giving a particular name as a load rule. Okay. So already front end IP is configured. So same front end IP should be appeared over here. Should be applied over here. Already backend pool is given. So backend pool IP should backend pool name should be applied over here. And you can see the port number. So you have to give 80 as a port number. Okay, and backend port also 80. Well, because we have enabled HTTP. So HTTP port number is 80. And you can see health prob. So the main purpose of using this health prob is to check whether the virtual machine is in good condition or not. So if anything happens with the help of this with the help of this health prob, you can easily check it out. So we'll create a new one. To create that, we'll click towards the create new. I'll give a particular name, health. In this protocol, we already enabled HTTP. So it's not a TCP, we have to enable to HTTP. So after enabling this HTTP and everything, we have to click save. Then again over here save. So our job is done. Basic is done, front end IT is done, backend pool is done, inbound is done. You can see inbound also. We are not going to enable any outbound or anything. So directly we'll click towards the review place create and we'll click create. So what happens? We have created a load balancer. So with the help of this load balancer IP, we'll check whether we are getting output. That means we are getting virtual machine 1 to virtual machine 2 output. Okay, so just wait. So just wait. So it is done, right? So we'll click towards it, go to resource, we'll copy the public IP. To click that public IP, you can see CMO. So when you click CMO, you can see public IP over here, right? So when you copy this public IP, you can see it is copied. So what you have to do is we have to click a new tab and you have to paste it over here. And you have to remove that IP name, and when you click enter, you can easily see that it is accessing from one to another. So right now it is access towards the hello, right? So it is access towards the hello. When I'm just trying to refresh, you can see it's changed into hi. So when I'm trying to refresh again, you can see it is changing into hello. Just wait. You can see, right? So this is called as load balancing. Load balancer. Okay. So this is how you create a load balancer. So there is no traffic. So you can easily access from one virtual machine to another. So there is no traffic. So this is the main purpose of using the load balancer. That means to avoid the traffic. Okay.